LA This Week.
The Great Shakeout Earthquake Drill comes to one college campus, the first of its kind in terms of earthquake preparedness. I'm Gil Reyes with details next.
I'm Anna Marco. City leaders are helping the Groundlings celebrate 45 years of groundbreaking laughter and entertainment in Hollywood. That's coming up.
A new door opened up to help women and children get from homelessness into housing. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Yana Kay. Here's what's happening on LA This Week. When it comes to brush fires, preparation is key in saving lives. We sat down with LAFD Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas to talk about the recent fires and what we can all do to stay safe.
More and more Los Angeles residents are reminded that wildfire season isn't just a season anymore, it's all year long. And it brings with it concern, uncertainty, and the possibility of some real serious danger. But there are some steps we can all take to be better prepared. And Los Angeles Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas is here to talk about wildfires and about preparedness. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the Saddle Ridge fire. Tell us the scope of it, and can you bring us up to date on what's happening?
Absolutely. Last week, it was a Thursday night about 9 o'clock, I was at home watching the news, and I saw the report of the fire, and I saw a visual from a news helicopter. When I saw that visual image, I thought we were going to lose several hundred homes because of the wind. We were able to mitigate that incident. We lost 17 homes. We saved thousands. We lost 17 homes, and the loss of one home is a big disappointment. And we're always looking to see how can we do better next time.
What more should the public know to keep us all safe?
I think the thing that I would ask there is that the public sign up for Notify LA. Text 888-777. If you want to know more specifics about what you need to do, you can go to our website at lafd.org. There you'll find information like you should trim all the tree limbs that hang above your house. You should clear the gutters from leaves and pine needles, anything that will ignite. So those tips and many more tips will be found on that website.
Well, thank you for doing a wonderful job for saving so many homes and so many lives in Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us today. Well,
thank you for having me. I'm very proud of the men and women of the Los Angeles City Fire Department. I believe we're the finest fire department in the world, and I say that on a regular basis because I truly believe that. We have a great group of men and women who are dedicated professionals, dedicated to the safety of the people of Los Angeles.
Turning now to our homelessness crisis, did you know that a big portion of those living on the streets are young women between the ages of 18 to 24? Well, these young women face unique challenges, but as Rasha Goel reports, a new Bridge home is helping them overcome those challenges and change their lives.
The Wallace House is opening its doors to 15 young women between the ages of 18 to 24 and their children who are experiencing homelessness. They now have a place to call home.
We now have 42 beds for young mothers and their children. And take it from me, my wife and I have been involved in the foster care system for almost a decade, and we know these are tough journeys for these young people who, by definition, have gone through some of the worst trauma in this city, even before facing homelessness.
For countless young women and children, for the young women transitioning out of foster care with nowhere to live, or for the young mother raising her child in a tent or in the backseat of her car, Wallace House sees you. It recognizes your struggle, and it says, welcome home.
Aviva Family and Children's Services, a nonprofit organization formerly known as Hamburger Home, will be providing support, therapeutic services, and guidance to at-risk children and families.
The Wallace House is more than just a place to live. There will be services and programs available to these young women to help transform their lives. This room that you see here is a place for women to come and pick up some clothing they may need for job interviews or perhaps even learn a new skill.
After we get done with their basic needs, a safe place to live, food on a regular basis, healthy food, and clothing, then we can start really doing the work that'll help these women launch into their adulthood. So we're going to be having parent education classes, credit recovery for high school, applications for college.
The Wallace House is a bridge home, which is part of Mayor Garcetti's plan to give homeless Angelenos in every neighborhood a refuge in the community until they can be connected with permanent housing.
This is our 8th Bridge Home site to open, keeping us on track to open 26 by July 1st of this coming year.
Single mothers experiencing homelessness face unimaginable challenges. They're responsible for themselves and their children. They are more vulnerable to crime and exploitation, but even more challenging is that many housing centers are simply not equipped to welcome them in.
A home that will hopefully provide a new beginning and new opportunities.
Officials say this recent effort by Aviva will contribute to the more than 200 units of supportive bridge housing being planned in Hollywood. Community members and city leaders in Council District 8 are taking a bite out of crime in their neighborhood thanks to a new initiative that's sparking real change.
Our children are under tremendous amounts of stress. They've been under this stress for a long, long time.
At the beginning of this summer, loss of Nipsey Hussle, there was an uptick in shootings in South Los Angeles, in the 8th District in particular. We're concerned because the summer was coming on. We did not want that to increase. So we implemented this community safety initiative to help stem the tide. We're here to celebrate because not only did it stem the tide, we actually reduced crime by a total of 15%. We had healing circles, we had safe passages, we had community events, we had gang interventionists, we had youth workers, all the things that it helps to build a community and keep it safe.
Whatever's going on in the community, the gun violence, the over-policing in our community, the domestic violence, the substance abuse, and all of that. And all that stems from somewhere, and be able to have a safe space to talk about these issues in a real and holistic way, I think it's truly powerful.
For us, it's bringing in new relationships, bringing in old relationships, bringing them together, knowing that together everyone achieves more, and that means team across the city.
By us having a safe passage program, it creates a safety net around our parks and our schools within our community, and it gives the folks within our community a chance to police themselves.
What could be the most prepared college campus in the event of an earthquake takes part in the largest earthquake drill in the world. More than 24 million people participated in the Great Shakeout. Gil Reyes has more.
Biola University in La Mirada could be the safest in the world in the event of an earthquake. The campus and emergency crews practice response during the Great Shakeout, a day when millions of people take part in emergency drills in preparation for the big one.
It's a big facility. We don't know how many victims were really trapped or actually hurt, so we have to go out and we do what we have to actually do. We do a search and rescue, we triage as much as we can.
Biola University is hoping to not even get to this point of injuries. They have the first system of any college in the nation to issue earthquake warnings up to a minute in advance.
The school's Shake Alert system announces incoming quakes on loudspeakers located throughout the campus, possibly giving students and staff those extra precious seconds to drop cover and hold on.
We have 6,100 students here at Biola, but it pales to a USC and a UCLA in terms of number of students on campus. Hopefully today is a day that inspires other universities, other civic leaders, state leaders to consider those kind of systems for their programs as well.
Regarding smartphone warnings, the governor announces 2 new systems now available throughout California. There's the MyShake downloadable app, also wireless emergency alerts, which provides warnings by text message. Los Angeles has its own Shake Alert LA app. But what about for information after a quake?
We need to remember that there's other ways of communication. The radio, the AM radio, the 24-hour news networks, those are very important because they're going to give you up-to-date information. Television provides a lot of information as well. So let's not get so caught up in our phones. Most likely you're not going to have Wi-Fi, you're not going to have cell connectivity.
Biola students went so far as to apply horror makeup to make their injuries and the drill seem real.
That was a cool learning experience to see what it might actually be like. So maybe if I do get in that kind of a circumstance, it's easier to think it through.
The biggest thing that was like a epiphany was just how long it takes to get through a group of like 100 people. First responders we had just making their way through the fallen debris and everything and assessing people. It was a good knowing experience if I was ever in a real emergency to be able to help myself to the best of my ability and to work with them in order to save as many lives as possible.
At home, it's also important to have a 2-week supply of water and non-perishable food ready to go. Also, an emergency preparedness kit. For other life-saving tips, log on to readyla.org. A new upgrade is in store for LA's emergency 911 dispatch center. Anna Marcos finds out how the business of saving lives is about to go more cutting edge.
911 emergency operator 230.
LA's 911 dispatch center is now in the middle of training all its 911 operators so that they stay ahead of the curve. That's because the state of California is getting ready to change to its next-gen 911 system, and LA will be ready. In fact, part of its program will go on board this month. As this on-the-job training shows, LA is indeed jumping the gun when it comes to the new cutting-edge technology.
Well, Next Gen 911 is all about being capable of getting videotape from the public, and if you're in a high-rise building, we can pinpoint what floor you're on or what room you're in. Right now, we're talking about California in November 2021. Eventually, the whole nation will be involved with this.
And sometime this month, the computerized part of the program will kick in at LA's 2 dispatch centers, one in downtown LA and one in the Valley.
We went from our flip phone, and now I think this is a smartphone. It's a smart computer.
All this while the center handles its usual workload of as many as 11,000 calls a day. 911 dispatchers not only field calls from the public, they mobilize the officers who respond.
They are lifesavers. I call it proactive dispatching.
I took a suicide call, and a gentleman wanted to take his life. And I said, was anybody with you? And he said, just me and my dog. And I asked him, well, who's going to take care of your dog when you leave? He's like, well, I didn't think about it. It was rewarding to me that I saved him and his dog.
Besides all the calls, many of the 911 dispatchers are also instructors. Miguel Estrada has a new trainee, Selena Guerrero.
What's the name of the church?
We do a lot of prompting, like if the questions, okay, ask her this, ask her that. Does she have any weapons?
Okay. Does she have any weapons?
I just had a shooting call, and yeah, the lady was frantic, so I wasn't able to get the information I needed from her right away. So it was trying to calm her down to get the information.
So was that a scary trial by fire kind of moment?
Yeah.
We put them through extensive training, and by extensive I mean weeks and weeks and weeks of training.
And did you know some of these dispatchers get to go to the Emmys and Oscars and other big LA events? They help with emergency calls there, well, virtually, not in person.
I'm at a separate location, so I'm not dressed in a gown.
911 is also trying online reporting for certain calls. For example, during 4th of July or New Year's Eve, you can get an app and report fireworks or loud parties online.
July the 4th, for an example, we take up to 16,000 emergency calls that day. When you're calling 911, you are tying up the system for real emergencies.
And that next real emergency could be your own. Whether dispatch operators can answer it within 15 seconds or half an hour could make all the difference.
And remember, if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you can call the non-emergency line at 877-ASK-LAPD. That's 877-275-5273. One of the key people on the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project is the program manager from the city's Bureau of Engineering. Anita Bennett introduces us to a woman who's making a mark in a male-dominated field.
As construction crews work to bring the iconic 6th Street Viaduct back to life, Julie Allen works to make sure the project stays true to the design plan.
So I ensure that the project is built in accordance with the design, and we leave the city with a beautiful new viaduct when the project is complete.
Allen is program manager on what's become the largest bridge project in Los Angeles history.
What you can see going on behind me is that the contractor is building falsework, which is a temporary bridge over the viaduct structure. What they're spanning over the railroad tracks so that they can construct the actual concrete bridge on top of the temporary bridge.
Originally built in 1932, the 6th Street Viaduct connected the Arts District to Boyle Heights. But after decades of use, the viaduct started to crumble, and that prompted the city to demolish it in 2016 and begin construction on a more seismically sound structure.
But will the pump be able to reach all the way over to this knuckle?
It does. Since the $488 million replacement project started, Allen says the city has taken great strides to increase diversity on the design team.
When I started the project, I was the only woman on the team, and as we've been filling positions and I look for the best person to fill the position, it's been a woman in many cases, so a lot of our leadership roles on the project are filled by women.
Allen graduated from UCLA with a degree in civil engineering. After 27 years with the city, she now helps recruit and mentor other women.
She's a role model to me in a way because I see how she carries herself as a female engineer in a male-dominated industry, and I look up to her, and I learn a lot from her, just how she handles herself.
Julie has been a fantastic mentor, especially to me personally. I work very closely with her every single day, and just the wealth of knowledge that she has and the leadership that she brings to the project from all her past projects, it's really empowering.
The project has created hundreds of jobs, and once it's complete, there will be a park here and more green space for this community.
We're going to be installing 12 acres of new park space that spans all the way from what you see over here on the north side of the bridge all the way to the 101 freeway. This is a very park-poor community, and the viaduct structure itself was very, very beloved to the community before, and this new one is going to be an iconic structure not only for this neighborhood but for all of Los Angeles.
The project is expected to be completed in 2022. Tribal dances, drums, and entertainment took center stage as hundreds of people gathered at Graham Park to honor Native American culture and history.
Indigenous Peoples Day in Los Angeles was created on August 30th of 2017 after a nearly 2-year process. And that process began with a motion that I introduced to take a look, to do an evaluation, a study of what it would look like, or what it could look like, what the possibilities were of eliminating Columbus Day and taking a look at a way to honor Indigenous people.
Celebrating Columbus is really predicated on the mythology that he discovered a whole entire hemisphere that was already populated by millions of Indigenous peoples. And so we're here to set the record straight. Indigenous peoples have been here since the beginning of time, and we will continue to be here. We're members of beautiful, resilient tribal nations all throughout the hemisphere.
This is one indicative of what can happen, as far as history being changed. People want to stand for right. They don't want to stand for wrong. They don't want to be remembered for doing something negative, something wrong, something that was atrocity to certain families and generations and cultures.
Native American Indigenous Days is just the beginning. It's going to spread across the entire world, and it's going to be like Mardi Gras in New Orleans. It's going to be spread. The entire world is going to take place. And if everybody's going to do the same thing we're doing here.
Some relief from City Council for renters facing no-fault evictions. A new pilot program helps cool city streets, and the pedestrian bridge in Silver Lake take shape. All this in City Beat. The LA City Council unanimously adopted an emergency ordinance aimed at stopping no-fault evictions of apartment rental tenants until January 1st, when the new law that provides similar protections take effect. In Atwater Village, the steel truss superstructure of the Red Car pedestrian bridge arrived in LA this week and installed. The bridge will connect the communities of Atwater Village and Silver Lake across the LA River. Mayor Eric Garcetti has announced a pilot program that combines cool pavement with shade canopies and trees to help decrease the temperatures on streets and walkways. It's a Hollywood institution that has trained many of today's best-known comedians and funny movie stars. And now, Councilmember Paul Koretz is helping the Groundlings celebrate their 45th birthday. Anna Marcos takes a look.
Try to control the weird faces.
45 years of funny stuff. And now the Groundlings Theater and School, a homegrown Hollywood landmark, is getting honored on its birthday by the city and council member Paul Koretz.
I guess it's ironic that I'm doing this because I have no sense of humor. But
I was kicked out of a serious acting class and told that all I wanted to do was make people laugh.
So you were too funny for acting.
I was told I was too funny. But when I got to the Groundlings, it's like a family. I found my funny home.
And to think these guys were just a group of actors back in 1974 who wanted to work on their craft. So they held a workshop. That turned into community performances, which led to jobs on shows like Saturday Night Live. And now the Groundlings is the go-to place when you want funny actors in Hollywood.
I don't think any of us imagined SNL would go on for 45 years. I don't think anybody ever imagined that the Groundlings would be here after 45 years. We were just a bunch of goofballs, you know.
since 1974, the Groundlings Theater and School has been the foremost comedy training ground in Hollywood and the springboard for countless careers, including comic geniuses from film and television.
Think Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Lisa Kudrow, Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler, John Lovitz, just a few superstars like that. But even more than the superstars, the Groundlings have brought laughter and good times to many, even our so-called humorless council member, Paul Koretz.
I went on my second date with my wife, Gail, to the Groundlings. And we had such a great time laughing together that I think that really started a relationship that has lasted 35 years. And so I credit the Groundlings.
What is it you think makes you funny and made you
Nothing. And I interrupt people.
So you're not funny?
Not in the slightest.
And you're in the Groundlings?
Yes, I am.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. Mistakes are made constantly in life.
But this is no mistake. Being funny is serious business.
Not that I didn't have fun, but I think I truly took it as I was like, this is like my master's program. And so I took it, I think, very serious.
The Groundlings have also become a community presence with classes for the general public, as well as training for corporations like Google and Disney. And does that help business?
Yes, it helps business. It helps politics, it helps business, it helps families, it helps relationships.
Yes and is the foundation of improv. When we build on each other's ideas, anything is possible.
Apparently, everything in life goes down easier with a little yes-anding and a little laughter. Happy birthday, Groundlings.
For more information on the school or the theater company, visit groundlings.com. The original farmers market at 3rd and Fairfax brought everyone together for a good old-fashioned country fair, complete with pig races and pie-eating contests.
We are having our Fall Festival. It's an event the Farmers Market has been hosting since 1934. And it's basically a county fair in the heart of a big city.
We're going on the bell this time. Listen for the bell. See, there's the bell, and here comes round number 2. Bobby Joe shoots it in there. Are we going to see a repeat as they head over that?
Today, Bob won our first show, so he's out here at the little winner's circle doing photos.
Way down in the Bridge Mountains, way down where the tall pines grow, lives my sweetheart of the mountain. She's my little Georgia Rose. Now come in.
Right now we have the Miners on behind us, and they've been a favorite. They are here every year. We have bands throughout the weekend.
My little rose that bloomed in Georgia with a hair of gold.
I think it's great for kids. There's not a lot to do in this area with kids, and it was free, which is amazing.
It's nice to bring the kids out. They love petting the animals, and it's just a perfect Saturday to spend time with the family. Say hi.
Hi. My mom lives across the street. We came to visit her, and she told me there was an amazing fair at the Grove, so we came to walk around. What do you like the most so far that you saw?
The pig race.
All right, Judge, let's make it official. First place, second.
I grew up around animals, and I think everybody should have the opportunity to be around them. They're very special creatures.
I think the reason why Farmers Market has endured for 85 years is it really is a small village in the middle of the city. You know, most of our businesses are family owned and operated. People come to Farmers Market and they feel at home. You know, LA is a big city, so it's nice when you have a place you can just call home.
Enjoy an all-access pass to multiple art venues at Graham Park, listen to some great music at a benefit concert, and help celebrate the opening of Metro's Blue Line. All this and things to do. Enjoy a pass to all things artistic throughout Grand Avenue during their all-access celebration. This annual arts event will offer workshops and activities throughout the Graham Park downtown LA area. Enjoy festivities including a scavenger hunt, a gallery talk at the Broad, or attend an LA opera performance at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. There is free admission to MoCA and much more. The Grand Avenue Arts All Access drops Saturday, November 2nd. For details, visit grandavenuearts.org. Don't miss the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music's annual benefit. This highly anticipated evening is the biggest fundraiser for the conservatory, which brings dynamic music education to the people of LA. The evening will be hosted by comedian Mark Maron, with musical acts including Red Hot Chili Peppers. The Silver Lake Conservatory of Music benefit happens Saturday, November 2nd, beginning at 6 p.m. Learn more at silverlakeconservatory.org. Going Blue just got more exciting. Join Metro LA for Blue Line Celebration, the latest opening of the Blue Metro A Line. The opening will be accompanied by entertainment from local performers, food, community booths, and special giveaways. So don't miss out on the Blue Line Celebration, happening Saturday, November 2nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at The Block, located at 750 West 7th Street. For more info, visit metro.net. And that's a look at some things to do. That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.